Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting and just unbelievable episode of Staying Up with Pat and Jodi. I'm Jodi.
And I'm Pat.
And who cares which one is which,
no,
right?
I'm Jodi, and I'm back.
Back from Washington.
Yes, I was, and it's okay to say where I was. I was at DJ Think Tank 2015.
Wow.
And it was quite the experience. It was a lot of fun. Seattle is an awesome place, by the way, Pat. For some of our listeners, I hope there are people out there in Seattle. We should go together. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time.
Okay.
Let's see.
Although we are waiting for the entire northwestern coastline to be destroyed by a tsunami.
Yeah, thanks a lot for sending that to us while we were all away at our DJ Think Tank. Thanks a lot for sending that, putting it all over our walls.
It's 80 years overdue, by the way.
Thanks a lot. Well, then I guess we won't be going
every
to
200
Seattle.
and some odd years. They have a couple of plates, a subduction plate, which basically means that one plate is pushing under another plate. It's kind of how mountains are made. And every couple hundred years, they slip, and it creates this giant tsunami that takes out a bunch of the coastline of the northwest in the United States and goes over to Japan and takes out part of Japan. So we are about 80 years past due for that. So
this is what my husband sends to me while I'm away in Seattle. Like,
I just wanted to know.
I don't get any notes.
It was on the news.
I love you, honey.
Shepard Smith was talking about it.
Shepard Smith from Fox.
Shepard Smith.
Shepard Smith. He's as crazy as we are.
Smith.
Shepard Smith is as nutty as we are.
But Michio Kaku, Dr. Michio Kaku was there. Michio Kaku, he's the theoretical physicist that is on. He's been on Opie and Anthony and a bunch of other shows.
Big words.
Yeah, he's
Dr.
just
Michio Kaku.
It's just a Japanese physicist, but he's very smart, a gentleman. Generally, physicists are smart people. You usually have to be to graduate.
So that's what I get. I'm eating crab with a hammer. I'm pounding my
beat the crab.
It was great. It was
the
fun.
crab with a hammer.
And he sends me, beware of the tsunami. It could happen at any moment.
I sent her the news report.
Where the hell can I go?
But it was a brand new news report. It was from that day, so I wanted you to see it. I just wanted to let you guys know.
I might not see it again.
If you hear some horns blaring, you better go head inland. Well, the only advantage was where you are in Seattle. There is the bay, it has to make its way through the bay first, and it would kind of reduce the force of the tsunami because it would have to come down and do all this goofy stuff.
Okay.
But
there was water by us.
Yeah, but you have to go out.
That wasn't the ocean?
No, it's a bay because you have to go out and around to get out to the open ocean. You were not facing open ocean. You were facing another piece of land.
That would explain why when we did the boat ride on Monday night, the water was very calm. It wasn't like ocean water.
Yeah,
so
you weren't in open ocean where you were in Seattle.
No, it was really calm. I mean, we went on. We saw that Mount Rainier.
Yeah,
we get to see Mount Rainier. That was pretty cool. Although Jeff Green thought it was Mount St. Helens.
Mount St. Helens is in Oregon, but okay.
Well, we didn't know, and then somebody told us it was Mount Rainier.
Okay. And of course, when they found out that was Mount Rainier, what did Mike Walter decide to do?
What?
Climb up it.
Oh, that's right. He did climb. Yes, Mike
and
Walter and his wife.
Up there.
Yeah,
they climbed up to where there was snow.
Good for Mike Walter. Shout out. That was awesome.
That looks like a lot of work.
And he also was on a houseboat. Him and his wife rented a houseboat, and he did paddle boarding. He did,
Yeah.
I didn't have that much. I just ate. I ate my way through Seattle.
You know what's great, though? He was paddle boarding in an area that's had an increased number of great white shark sightings and bull sharks.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
In that water? Really?
In fact, the same shark that they suspect kills people every couple of years in Central California also is seen up there, every once in a while, because it just goes back north and south. It goes from Mexico up into Canada and then back, and it's a big, about 20-foot great white that just roams up and down the coast. And they just saw a great white in Huntington Beach a few weeks back.
Wow, I heard about that. So I'm a little nervous about going back to California and jumping in the water.
And paddleboarders, by the way, paddleboards from the bottom are just kind of like surfboards. They look like lunch to a shark, basically.
Oh my God! And that surfboard guy. Oh my God! Seeing that, the guy who beat that was pretty awesome.
That was in South Africa, and if you watch,
everybody knows about it by now.
Here's the thing: if you watched Shark Week like we told you to. We talked about Shark Week.
We did.
If you watched it, you learned that South Africa has a very big great white population. In fact, during certain times of the year, there are hundreds of them, and they go down there to mate and to do all kinds of stuff. And, you know, they're doing a little underwater, although nobody's ever filmed two great whites doing it. So
wow. How do they do it? You're a marine science magnet. Why don't you tell us?
It's very violent.
Is it?
Yeah, because
For real?
the male has to grab a hold of the female with his jaws to hold on to her to get it in, so to speak. And then you'll see a lot of females that are all torn up and got scars. That's from mating.
Oh.
So mating can be very dangerous for
So they
great
actually
whites.
do mate.
They have to. Yeah, they got to get it in.
And then sharks lay eggs? Is that what they do? Or do they just
No,
spit
they don't
out?
lay eggs. They spit out.
Okay.
At least I don't think they lay eggs. They're fish.
You're the
I
marine
think that-
science guy.
I think different species. Yeah, but I don't. This is from 30
No, I think
years
you're right.
ago.
I think like they give birth, like the cat. Like isn't it like calves in the water?
It might be. Well, they're not a mammal.
Whales
Generally,
do.
well, because they're mammals. Generally, fish do eggs, but I don't remember if all sharks.
Because
do
you
eggs. I
had a
think there
bunch
was
of
an
goldfish
exception.
once, and you only started. Pat started with 6 goldfish
And we had,
a
like,
year ago.
20.
We had like 20 goldfish.
And then they all killed each other.
Yeah, and they
Sons
all
of bitches.
Yeah, they all ate each
We
other.
all ate each other. They turned into fish zombies.
Oh my gosh! But
Ngang, 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 ngang.
but speaking of shark,
Speaking of sharks,
we got to talk about Sharknado
Sharknado
3. Oh hell yeah!
no.
Oh no! Oh hell no!
Oh hell no! Look! Oh,
I'm
hell
sorry.
no!
I was thinking of oh hell yeah, Steve Austin.
Yes, that's right. That's different.
Stone Cold. That's going to be Sharknado 4. Oh, hell yeah. No, Sharknado 4. The title, so bad, it's so good.
It's so bad. It's good.
It's so bad, it's good. That's it. That's what we're going to call it. It's so bad. What did I say?
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
It's
good.
good. Yeah.
That's what we're going to call Sharknado 4.
And let's face it, Sharknado 3, and I know I had a couple of our friends that said, this one wasn't as good. Each one has to get progressively worse. And what do I mean by that? You cannot take these movies seriously. You cannot watch these movies
Seriously?
thinking that you are watching a real movie.
You mean that
These
people
are
don't
spoofs.
give birth
Okay.
inside a
No,
friggin' shark?
They do. They
Tara Reid gave birth.
their goal
in
is
a
to
shark.
make it more ridiculous than the last one.
And she came out with her pants on.
And fell from space inside of a shark.
And gave birth
And
at the
then
same
gave
time.
birth.
And then they cut open the shark's belly and they slipped this baby out. It was the weirdest
Yeah.
thing. Finn. The guy's name is Finn.
Okay.
Really?
Finn
Ian
Shepherd.
Ziering is Finn.
Finn Shepherd.
Finn Allen Shepherd. And then
Yeah.
he goes into space.
Yeah, because his father, who is
The Hoff.
David Hasselhoff, is an astronaut who was also working on the
Space shuttles.
The space shuttles, which there was still one left that was super secret. We thought we got rid of them. There was still one left that, by the way, was ready on the platform there.
It was ready.
It was ready to go.
They
They
just had
had
to
it
get
all.
in
Now,
it.
usually that's a multi-week process. They have to fill up the tanks and they have to roll it out. But they had it ready to go.
It was just like, Pat, when you go on your motorcycle, you just put on your helmet,
Here's the
put
thing.
on your suit, and then you drive off.
Here's the thing. They really did work as hard as they could, and you have to give them credit for this, at making it as ridiculous as humanly possible.
Yes.
Because people are going to say sharks can't live in space. Yeah, they also can't live inside a tornado for hours on end.
They can't.
Okay?
Oh, but wait. You said hours on end. Could they live in a tornado?
They would be dead within seconds.
But meaning like up in the air.
It would rip,
they could
first of
stay
all,
in the water.
First of all, it would rip you to shreds. One, and if it didn't, they're not able to breathe in a tornado. So.
I can't believe we're having this discussion.
So yeah, so let's not mention all the other ridiculousness.
What happens when there's a what do they call that on the water? A spout, a water spout. What do they call that
that's
thing?
a tornado. That's basically just a tornado over the water because a tornado hits the water. The way that they try to show it is these are water spouts, giant water spouts, which are tornadoes, but because they're hitting the water, they're sucking these sharks up into the water spout or tornado, and then coming on land, and then these sharks are randomly getting flung out. And the first thing the sharks are thinking of doing after being spun around at 400 RPM, the first thing they're thinking of doing is eating anything that they fly
Well, they
towards.
drop down on human beings. Like they devoured the entire Today Show crew.
They did.
Except for Kathy Lee and Hoda, who had bottles.
Kathy Lee and Hoda. Hey, look, the drinking saved their lives.
Exactly.
The wine saved their lives. The rest of the Today crew, Rest in
they
peace.
were all sitting there, and sharks came down and just ate them. But I mean, come on, there was some really, hopefully we'll get called up for Sharknado 4. I still think Sharknado 4 in Las Vegas would be friggin' where else can you take that? Las Vegas would be friggin' hysterical. Sharks gambling. Ding.
You could make it where
oh my God,
some evil people started breeding bull sharks up the Colorado River, and they made their way into Lake Mead. And there was a freak storm that sucked them out of Lake Mead and spit them out onto the Las Vegas Strip.
Because we get those
there you go,
monsoon
Sharknado.
rains.
I want my
Yes.
I want my cut.
And we want to be in the sequel too. I want to be in Sharknado 4.
I'll even be the evil guy that's out there, breeding all the.
We'll do whatever you want.
Bull sharks.
We're talking to you,
Sharknado
4. We're talking to you. Come to. But I mean, that was just crazy. Great cameos.
Lots of cameos.
Lou Ferrigno
Okay,
got eaten.
let's go through. I have the
the
cast list here, and now obviously we know Ian Ziering.
The guy's name is Finn. That's so. He's Finn. He's killing sharks, and his name is Finn.
And Tara Reid, who apparently took this movie very seriously, as if it was American
Oscar?
Pie 3 or something. I don't know. But her acting is just as good in this as it is the other movie. So, there was some like the girl who played Nova, Cassie Sherbo, not really all that memorable, but Frankie Muniz, I think I say it. Muniz, child actor who played an interesting part. He played kind of a quirky, silly part, which looked like a lot of fun.
Was he the guy in the big SUV?
He was in the one in the RV with Nova.
Oh, okay. And he was the one who got his. Oh my God, his kill was the best kill.
Okay, we want to talk about some of these kills. Now, I do want you to know that I was thinking of, okay, what if we did a drinking game with Sharknado 3? I'm like, okay, we could line up some drinks, and every time a celebrity or pseudo-celebrity, whatever, died, we'd take a drink. Here's the problem with that whole theory. By the second act, you would have died of alcohol poisoning because there were just too many of them.
Everybody dies.
Everybody dies. And then, so it became more of an issue. It's like, yeah, that guy's going to die. That girl's going to die.
But Frankie. Oh my God.
Oh.
So it starts with his leg, then his arm.
At this point, they're on, I couldn't tell if it's an Army or Air Force base, with the black girl from...
Z Nation.
Z Nation. Okay, who made a Sharknado reference in one of the episodes of Z Nation.
And then
last night she is supposed to be the guard on duty at this base, and the guy, as he's pulling away from her, just says casually, "At least they're not zombies." So a nice little callback between Z Nation and that is a sci-fi show too, isn't it?
It is.
Z Nation.
And I think
so
it might
all those actors work on all the same movies. But Frankie Muniz, I can't even say his name properly, but has to head back to the armored RV while, of course, Nova and Finn hop into an F4. And take off. Now, I don't know
how to fly it.
And apparently she learned how to fly it because her boyfriend, who went off into the service a year, and that she was with for a year, taught her how to fly jets. Which, by the way, she flies an F-22 later in the show as well. So that's kind of interesting that she can fly multi-million-dollar fighter jets. Somehow she got private lessons. Anyway, all just as realistic. So Frankie starts heading back to the RV, and he's going to bite it at this point. You just know he's going to bite it, right? Or
bite it.
It's going to bite him.
You said bite it.
Gets to the door of the RV, and what happens? Boom, shark comes, takes off one of his legs.
And we're like,
oh no, he's done. But no, Frankie, he's a tough guy. He's determined. He's going to get to the roof of that RV to set up the self-destruct like they do in Star Trek and blow up the sharks that are falling upon them. So
thumbs up.
Frankie, who is Lucas Stevens in the show, gets onto the roof of the RV, crawls up there, and gets an arm taken off. So now he's
missing one leg
and one arm.
But it gets better.
It gets better.
Because another shark gets him.
And takes the other leg.
So now he's missing two legs and one arm.
But he's not done yet. He's not to be deterred. he's still going for that self-destruct button,
With his
which
one
is
hand.
strangely on the roof of the RV and not by the driver's seat or something. Kind of a weird place to put it. But as he's reaching to hit the button, he's reaching out, almost
The
gets
arm
it.
is there.
Another shark comes and takes off the other arm.
So now he's just a torso.
So now he's a torso. But he still hasn't bled out. He still hasn't given up.
And he
He
uses his
wiggles
tongue.
over and uses his chin. He used his chin.
It's funnier if he used his tongue.
Well, his tongue was in there and hits the button to blow up the RV and take out all the sharks.
And they're all dead.
So if you're talking about people, because I think at this point, when you become a cast member on any of the Sharknadoes, it's just like, okay, who gets the best kill?
He got the I think that to me that was one of the best kills.
The best kill award has to go to Lucas Stevens or Frankie Muniz because his was the bravest.
he got just devoured.
He got devoured and still managed to blow up
Press
the RV.
button with his chin.
Oh, my goodness. And, of course, now we got to go back to some of the cast members, some notables. Of course, we talked about David Hasselhoff, who was Gilbert Grayson Shepard. G.G. Shepard, okay? And his acting was phenomenal. It was almost as good as his singing.
My favorite part was when Finn is on the beach and they look up at the moon, and somehow David Hasselhoff's character, Finn's dad, lands on the moon by himself.
I know we're bouncing around. We're bouncing around the storyline. If these are our
Spoilers?
spoilers for you.
Screw you.
First
F
of all,
you.
yeah, screw you.
F you. You should have been with the
You should have been
millions
watching.
and the millions of people. By
Watching.
the way, I do know how many people watched it. It was 45. No, I take it back.
1.4 million.
1.4. Where'd you see that? Oh, okay. 1.4. Sorry.
No, that was for the 1.4 was for the first one.
They're down 28%. So 2.8 million.
Drew 2.8 million
2.8
total viewers
yes.
for Wednesday, according to Nielsen,
Right.
which was 28% down from Sharknado 2. But they really didn't do as much promotion for this or much.
Yeah, they really didn't. But Twitter, there were 360,000 tweets.
For more than 45 million impressions.
We were tweeting, by the way.
Yes,
part
we
of
were.
the 360,000 tweets. But getting back to David Hasselhoff, so Finn looks up at the moon.
But wait. You have to explain how this happens. Okay, first of all.
Well, they go to space.
They go into space, and I have to say that their spacesuits were motocross gear with shit glued to them.
That's what Pat said the first time he saw. This is like those cheesy Chinese movies from back in the day.
If you've ever seen the motocross, the chest protector, shoulder protector, it's one piece that you kind of pull over the top, and it has the shoulder pads and the chest and the back protector and all that. Okay, well, they took one of those and kind of painted it gray and glued some stuff to it, and that was their spacesuit. And put like some clothes on. That was their spacesuit. So they're in space. And
sharks in space.
And they've tried all these things to destroy this killer multiple tornado weather front that's coming through. So they tried blowing up the tanks in the space shuttle and doing the rocket. Not enough.
Not enough. According to Finn.
But luckily, thank you to the best president of our lifetime, Ronald Reagan, who people are going to hate me for that.
Letters are coming in now.
Who put money into the Star Wars program. Because without that old Star Wars satellite up there that could project a laser beam down onto the planet, Sharknadoes would have destroyed the entire East Coast. Now, here's the problem.
They call it the Feast Coast.
The Feast Coast. And here's the problem. Of course, that's been up there for a while. Remember, this was started in the 80s. They couldn't turn it on remotely. So what does the Hop have to do? Let's face it. He was Michael. He was, Knight
Rider.
He was Knight Rider. He's a tough guy. He knows.
He's Mitch on Baywatch.
He knows how to get it done. He's Mitch on Baywatch. He's going to give of himself and give the ultimate sacrifice to save the planet.
He's still alive, though.
And yes,
he was on the moon.
But we'll get to that in a second. He activates. He has to go out of the space shuttle.
And he has to fly over
with his spacesuit, which is really good for riding dirt bikes. And he triggers it, and it works. But as he does that, all of a sudden, sharks, wait for it, start flying into outer space. Now, because they survived these Sharknadoes, they now have the ability to survive in zero gravity with no oxygen of any sort or no water. So they're in space, alive, and they're still hungry.
I think we lost some people.
They're still hungry.
Oh
So
my
they
God.
come
The
after.
Sharknado fans are listening.
They come after and they wind up destroying the space shuttle. But during this time, of course, a giant great white swallows Tara Reid. Okay?
A pregnant
Tara Reid. Okay. As Finn Shepard, Ian Ziering, Finn sees this, he goes no, and he now he has his space suit on too. Again, good for doing motocross riding, dirt bike riding. He jumps into the belly of the shark, and he's fighting, trying to find her.
Yes, is it the same shark? Was it the same shark?
I don't know.
It wasn't. After
they find out it wasn't.
Yeah.
But
It
and
looked
we're
like the
thinking,
same one.
how is he going to survive? They just destroyed the space shuttle. His father has been flung into outer space. Now, granted, they were in a low Earth orbit because they were at the height of satellites. So, Tara Reid and Finn
Ian
are heading towards Earth in burning sharks. Okay, these sharks are now burning, but there's apparently enough insulation in these sharks to prevent them from getting burned up even throughout the entire re-entry process of the Earth, traveling at 24,000 miles an hour. But Finn, being the sharp guy that he is, and apparently, Tara Reid was just as smart. He cuts a slit in the shark's skin, right? And he has a parachute on his back for some reason. I don't know why you need a parachute on your spacesuit. Not sure why. The parachute deploys, and he falls safely down to Earth.
on the beach
In
Florida.
Florida.
The same spot where he took off in.
Now
Go
he's
figure
going,
that out.
oh my God, where is my loving April Wexler, who is played by Tara Reid, if you haven't figured that out yet. Her hand, which was cut off in two, now has a mini chainsaw on it, and she's a mini, not a smitty.
Mini chainsaw.
And cuts through the shark. And do we see Tara Reid pop through? No.
No.
We see
a
their
baby.
newly born baby.
She gave birth inside of a shark as it was re-entering the orbit.
And survived the landing.
And she still had her pants on.
Now, as they close it, we're thinking, oh, they survived, right? And they look up to the moon. And guess who's on the moon? Which happens to be, by the way, several 100,000 miles away from Earth.
Yes.
But apparently the blast that took out the space shuttle did not kill
The Hoff.
because the Hoff is indestructible.
It's David
No,
Hasselhoff.
all it did was push him
To the moon.
where he landed right next to the original moonlander. By the way, he's going to screw up those original footprints, which really pisses me off. 'Cause now the Hoff is undamaged in his spacesuit on the surface of the moon. He traveled several 100,000 miles and safely landed on the moon. Good for him.
Good for him.
But now a piece of debris comes flying down. This is another spoiler. These are all spoilers. Comes flying down
haven't seen it.
towards April, and they cut away. And there's a hashtag, April lives, April dies. So
You, America.
get to decide whether or not Tara Reid
will be back for Sharknado
4.
4. And they announced that there will be a Sharknado 4. So, wow. And the show actually opened with James Bond type credits.
A James
with
Bond type
Finn.
credit, yeah,
Dun,
with Finn
dun,
with
dun,
a chainsaw, and of course he was meeting with President Mark Cuban, which you never know that could happen.
He was actually quite good.
He was a lot better than I thought it would be.
Yes.
And let's face it, he is in the show Shark Tank, so that's appropriate.
And he mentioned it was a shark reference.
Bo Derek was in there. You know, she plays the mom, which was nice. Michael Winslow, who is known for all of his Police Academy movies. He's the guy who made all the goofy sounds. You couldn't tell because he's a little older, but
he
was
didn't do any voices.
And apparently he's now doing a lot of sci-fi movies because they did a promo and he was in another one. let's see. Let's go down the line for some of the ones. Neo was in it. You might know Neo. He's Agent Devereaux, our good friend and wrestling legend.
Maurice.
No.
Oh.
Chris Jericho.
Oh, Chris Jericho. Yes. And
was
Maurice
Bruce
was in it
the
too.
ride attendant?
Yes. And he had cheesy sleeves, tattoo
Cheesy
sleeves. I heard. I
sleeves
got to go
on.
back and watch
I want
that.
to see it, but yeah.
Yeah, they said it was. They had to cover
And,
up his tattoos, and it was
yeah.
really the effects were so bad.
Oh, they were horrible. But he did get eaten.
Yeah, he had a pretty good kill. He was like he was all into it. When
Yeah,
the shark was eating him.
He was sticking halfway out the shark's mouth, and he was just getting shredded.
And Lou Ferrigno had a kill.
Lou Ferrigno had a kill.
You know, killed Lou Ferrigno. The Hulk. Don't make me mad.
Ann Coulter survived.
Ann Coulter survived.
She survived by surfing down a stairwell.
That was freaking hysterical.
On George Washington's portrait, which was nice.
With Mark McGrath.
Mark
from
McGrath.
Sugar Ray.
Sugar Ray.
He came back. He was in.
He came back,
in
but then he smartly went home.
Yes, he didn't stay for the rest of the movie.
He said, "F you, East Coast."
Yes.
So, but yeah, some very interesting. Jackie Collins was in it. Bill Engvall.
My favorite, Jackie Collins.
Yeah.
Love and she looks great. We were thinking that she's got to be like 80 years old.
Yeah.
Jackie Collins writes books. If you don't know who she is, Google Jackie Collins. She's awesome.
Yeah, one of your favorites.
She is absolutely one of my
when
favorites. I would love to have been Jackie Collins in another life. And I'm still young enough to do it, so just don't have the time.
But they had a multitude of Star Trek characters. And,
it was good.
You know, Penn and
it was
Teller
good.
were
It
in
was
Joey
good, meaning it
Logano.
was cheesy. It was cheesy good.
Oh, yeah.
It lived up to everything that we thought,
I think
and then gave us like
the big thing here is that you have to look at it as I want to watch a movie, knowing that it is intentionally made as cheesy and as horrible as possible.
Yeah.
It's just like we're watching a parody of a movie.
Yes.
So we're not feeling bad for a character when he gets eaten by a shark or she gets eaten by a shark. We're laughing, and not with them, but at them, which is important. So very, thoroughly entertaining. Taken in the right context, with an amazing cast. As far as all the number of people that showed up, and that was half the fun, trying to figure out who some of the people were, some of the characters.
And of course, we talk about this lady all the time, but Kim Richards, one of the housewives of Beverly Hills, got eaten. She was one of the tour guides.
She got smashed.
She got smashed.
She was smashed by a shark.
Yeah,
she wasn't eaten.
She was smashed.
She was smashed.
And I'm sure Eileen Davidson...
Isn't that her problem? She gets smashed a lot?
She got smashed.
She gets smashed a lot?
There you go. That's good. I never even thought about that. Eileen Davidson is probably loving life. That was funny.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty funny because they're feuding on Real Housewives. But it took place, Pat, in one of the main things was the Orlando Universal Studios in Orlando.
Which, by the way, has some cool rides that I want to go on now.
Yes, then we're going to have to go check that. It was a great promo for Universal Orlando.
By the way, they're obviously a big and probably a title sponsor of Sharknado 3. Good job, because guess what? Now I want to go to Universal Orlando because I saw a bunch of rides I want to go on.
Too bad Universal Orlando. Too bad they didn't go to SeaWorld. That would have made more sense. The sharks coming out.
Yeah,
of SeaWorld.
but then and you see like one of the killer whales getting sucked up and eating one of the sharks. That would have been cool. Oh
my god! Now I wonder if they allow selfie sticks at the theme park, because Six Flags. It's in the news today that Six Flags, all the Six Flags amusement parks have banned selfie sticks. No selfie sticks.
No mas.
No mas. So all you Filipinos out there, you're going to not be able to take your selfie sticks with you. But I take it back, because I did take a selfie stick with me to Seattle.
You did?
I'm not Filipino, so I just want it out there. No, I'm not.
Okay.
But I did take my selfie stick, but I wasn't obnoxious with it. I just took a few pictures, but they're everywhere. People were selfie sticking everything.
Selfie sticking.
Selfie
sticking. That sounds dirty.
I know.
Selfie sticking.
So now that's been added to the list of prohibited items, which also includes pepper spray, explosives, knives, and glass bottles.
And crack. No crack.
And
no
crack.
crack and selfie sticks are now and explosives are now all in the same category.
So they join the list of other places that don't allow selfie sticks, like the
right.
Metropolitan Museum of Art, Lollapalooza, the Kentucky Derby, and Wimbledon, and of course Disneyland or Disney.
Yeah,
The Disney.
I think they were the
properties.
first. Disney was the first.
So anyway, big story in the news, Pat. Not to take it away
Big
from
story.
Sharknado, but we've talked about Sharknado long enough, and they're going to make us. They're going to put us in Sharknado 4. Big story. Are the people complaining over this diner owner taking heat? She's taking heat and she's taking praise after she screamed at a crying toddler. And I mean, come on.
Well, apparently, and again, you have
She's
to
the
listen to
owner
the
of
host.
a
She's the owner of the
diner.
diner. That this is a family that came in, and the toddler was what, just 2 years old.
You can pull up that website. I don't know if you can read that.
What had happened was she basically the people went there. They ordered 3 pancakes for a little
Oh,
toddler.
you saw it. Okay, good.
And then didn't let the kid eat it.
So the
Put
kid
it
was,
out of, so the kid's like going, "Hey, give me the pancakes," and they didn't let it eat it. The kid was screaming and yelling. They wouldn't do anything. They were even asked to leave at one point, and it became a whole thing. And finally, out of frustration, she banged on the counter and said, basically, "Cut it out," to the kid. Now, I hate to say it, it's not the kid's fault. The kid's doing what the kid knows to do. The parents were the ones that weren't doing their job. These parents are assholes. Okay, I'm just going to say it plain and simple. If you have a kid and they're screaming and yelling in a public place,
absolutely,
either shut the kid up or take them somewhere.
Right.
Be a parent.
Yeah.
Figure out how to. When we were kids, it sounds cliche. We were kids. We could not get away with that.
No way. We were slapped, kicked, punched. Yeah, I mean,
but even just getting yelled at, and it's like, hey, cut it out, And if you kept acting up, they grabbed you and took you outside.
The nuns used to beat us up in school. Are you kidding? We would get smacked by nuns.
This kid's 2, so they're not going to get beat up.
I know, but I'm just saying that's the nuns used to smack us around.
The kids, and you do have a lot of parents that just let their kids act up and don't do anything about it. They run around like idiots. I think the important thing would have been, I think in some of the comments were they should have just said, "Here's your money back. Please leave. Don't come back." And again, how she handled it, ultimately yelling at the kid, probably not the best idea.
I would have said something because I have. I've done it.
Yell at the parents, not the kid.
But I've done it. I mean, I actually yelled at a parent where I was in Sam's Club online not too long ago, and this kid was really acting up, and he was like screaming, and I turned around and I looked at the parent, and then the kid shuts up for a second, and then he starts up again, and there were 3 of them, so it wasn't like there was just one parent paying for items, and then the kid. There was a grandmother, an uncle, the mother, and one other parent. Just take the kid and put him, I looked at him, I go,
take the kid outside.
Take him outside. That's what I said. I go, excuse me, take your little kid out, take him outside. And everybody looked at me and they were like nodding their heads because he was screaming on the top of his lungs. And we're all standing in line to pay for something. Take him outside.
Yeah, it's completely inconsiderate. But it falls to, you have people who are not very good parents, people who are very narcissistic that, look, they don't care if it's bothering anybody else. If it's not bothering them, they don't care.
Yeah.
And they just don't feel like having to do anything with it. The kid probably does that at home, and who cares if it's bugging 100 other people in a crowded public space? They just don't care because the world revolves around them.
Yeah, I'm on the side of just take your kid out.
Take the kid out. That's a simple solution.
I was a little, and I'm the person, and ask Pat, when we go out to dinner, if I see a table with kids, I ask immediately to be moved. Like if I see a kid table, like right within earshot of us, I've done that.
Well,
I've actually asked the
because you have so many situations where they just don't do anything about a screaming kid.
Yeah, they don't.
Nothing.
And I don't want to sit there and enjoy my dinner sitting next to a screaming kid.
If you're a parent and you think it's okay for your kid to be screaming, that's just what kids do. No. You as a parent need to do something because you're in a public place. If you can't keep your kid under control in a public place, don't go to a public place, eat at home.
Yeah,
plain and simple.
I agree.
And if you say it's not fair to you, no, it's not fair to the other people. You're the one who can't, and it doesn't mean beat your kid up like Jodi apparently got beat up a lot as a child.
Oh, always. My mom's probably listening to us going,
a 2-year-old,
don't
a 2-year-old
do that. Yes, we did get beaten.
Just needs to get disciplined. That's it. You just need to discipline them and stop them. If you do that correctly, the kid will stop. And if they don't stop, you pick them up and you take them outside. Is it an inconvenience? Yes. But you decided to have kids. That's what you get to deal with.
There you go.
You know, that's the responsibility of being a parent.
But nothing beats a good slap. Just saying. That's why we probably don't have kids, because I would beat the shit out of them. No, terrible. Yeah.
No, you wouldn't. You like little kids.
And
you wouldn't want to do
kids.
you wouldn't want to do that because it happened to you.
Maybe. I don't know. That's a question that will never be answered unless somebody comes around and sends me a Mother's Day card next year for Mother's Day.
Because you had a kid, you didn't know it.
Because I had a kid, just like Tara Reid in a shark. You didn't know
and just like Sharknado 3, you'd be saying, "Oh hell no."
Oh hell no, that ain't my kid. I took my first Uber, Pat. I did the Uber
in Washington, yes, in Seattle.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, Uber just won their bid to be in New York City. So they just declared victory. So they can drive Uber cabs. It's a very interesting process. Apparently, and people know this already. It's modern technology. You basically download the app and you give them your credit card number and you call for a ride.
Yeah.
And they come and pick you up within seconds.
Yeah. Uber it was actually, when I got my new phone, it was one of the apps that was already on the phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Not on mine. So, yeah, we don't have it in Las Vegas yet.
It's coming. It's coming.
You think so?
They got approved. It finally got approved after getting kicked out and going through that. They're just going through all the final steps, and it is coming.
Interesting conversations we had with the Uber drivers that we took. I was with Jeff and Dana, our friends from Birmingham and Alabama. And we, like Jeff was fascinated by this whole Uber thing. Like we were asking them if those are their cars, and they are. And the cars are brand new. Like these are people that own beautiful
new cars. Yeah. You can't have an old clunker.
No, we noticed that the cars were all black. I don't know if there's a reason why, but in Seattle they were black.
Yeah, that just happens to be coincidence.
And they explained how the whole process works, how they get money, like every time they pick up a ride, they get money put into their bank account. We apparently don't have to tip because tips are already included.
It's included in the fee that they get, yeah.
So you don't have to dig out of your wallet for, singles or anything like that, which is really cool. And then you can look on the Uber app and see, like, without ordering a car, just how many cars are in your area. You can actually see that. And the gentlemen that we were in the car with, they were guys. There were no lady drivers yet that we got in a car with. But it was really cool. They were very polite. They knew the city. Talkative, if we wanted to talk to them, and answered our questions about the whole Uber experience. And they generally seemed to be very happy about it.
Yeah.
And they said they keep busy working, and it's modern technology. We're in a modern age.
It's definitely an interesting twist because for years, how many years have we heard so many complaints about taxi services? You can't find one when you need one. They're rude. The taxis stink. They drive like maniacs. They long haul. That's been an issue in Vegas, is that a lot of the taxi drivers will long haul the passengers. If you don't know what long hauling means, it just means that they pick you up in one spot and take the long way to wherever you're going so that they can get a bigger fare. Mm-hmm. Okay? And that's been a real issue. And even here in Vegas, they justify it saying that if we don't long haul, we can't make enough money. So basically they're saying if they don't rip you off, they can't make enough money. Which is just ridiculous to me. But so that's one of the big issues, because the thing is once you punch in a destination, it is a set fee. If they drive you the long way, they're getting the same amount for driving you further. So it really does prevent the fraud that happens so often with regular taxis. And and I think it's a great idea, and it's one of those things that it's become a multi-billion-dollar company over a very short period of time. And it just keeps hitting in more and more areas. But the taxi authorities, I know the ones here try to put a lot of money, or did put a lot of money in trying to keep them out because they don't want the competition. Mm-hmm. They really don't, because once Uber hits big here,
I was surprised by how many people were using it in Seattle. Like how many people are using it in Seattle? It makes sense to me in Seattle.
Seattle's the type of city, just like San Francisco, and New York, that it would. I think those would be your first cities you would go to. Mm-hmm. Because it makes sense there. Yeah. They like those types of things. That would really make sense.
Yeah,
in a city
I was quite surprised. Do we have any friends that live in Milwaukee?
Not in Milwaukee. We do have friends in Wisconsin, but
All
not
right.
in
Well, there's a
Milwaukee. Not that I
report,
know of.
and this is
I
made
could be wrong.
and this has made national news and everything. But I guess apparently there's a report of a lion, and it has Milwaukee residents on like lockdown. They're all afraid. I guess apparently a report of a roaming lion in a Milwaukee neighborhood has
Whoops.
police and others on the lookout. Milwaukee police say a woman reported seeing a lion Monday afternoon in her North Side neighborhood. Police Chief Edward Flynn says his officers were given cell phone video of an animal that appeared to be a lion-ish creature.
Lionish.
Yeah, lion-ish creature. So they got Sharknadoes on the...
Wait. First of all, if a lion gets loose, don't you think we would know about it? Because it's not like everybody in the neighborhood gets to keep a lion in their backyard. It has to be in a zoo or in a wildlife sanctuary. So if a lion gets loose, don't you think we would know about that?
Well, that's what they were saying. Officers checked the neighborhood but didn't find anything. The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources was notified and dispatched an employee to check it out. Flynn says it was theoretically possible a wild cat had made its way south from northern Wisconsin. Since the first call, police have received about 24 lion reports.
They're all seeing it now.
Officers investigated each call and found no lion. Now, the initial report of the lion sighting lit up social media with its own hashtag. So if you want to follow what's going on in Milwaukee, it's hashtag MKE Lion.
MKE Lion.
And I guess apparently people are so freaked out over this lion sighting that a Milwaukee guy actually shot a dog, a big pit bull that looked like he must have been drunk or something.
Yeah.
He shot a pit bull because he thought it was the Milwaukee lion. So all I have to say is it's not a good time to be the new guy in the animal control department.
No, because now they're saying,
guy working in animal control.
We got reports of a lion.
And some people have said they've seen a lot of cougars in some bars in Milwaukee, but haven't seen any lions.
Well, we see a lot of cougars on Ashley Madison. That's for sure.
Yes, Ashley
Madison.
Oh my gosh!
And is that not a great story?
My name has not come up.
Because a lot of big companies have been victims of hackers. Target and Kmart and all these different companies. I think Home Depot has been hit a couple of times. But it seems this time that some Christian hackers, has to be Christian hackers, because why else would you hack AshleyMadison.com?
What is Ashley Madison?
Have hacked the dating site AshleyMadison.com, which is not just a normal dating site. It's for married peoples that want to... Married peoples, yes. Married peoples. That want to have...
Affairs.
That want to have a little quickie. And
a little hey na
you know what? My husband ain't performing. My wife ain't giving it to me. I need a little something on the side. I'm going to sign up with Ashley Madison.
I need to rush right over to Ashley Madison.
Rush right over to Ashley Madison. Woo! So apparently there's some hackers got into their database and are now starting to release the identities of people on Ashley Madison. And what was the ridiculous number of people that are members of Ashley Madison?
Oh, I want to say, was it 26 million people?
26 million members.
They said like a third of the country. If you took
That's like a third of the married people in the country. Yeah, are on Ashley Madison.
Are hooking up on Ashley Madison. But here's the funny thing. This sleepy city has the #1 Ashley Madison signups, and it's Ottawa, Canada. They have the record number of Ashley Madison hookups.
Wow. I guess they either don't marry well there or there's just nothing to do.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a really boring town.
They have 200,000 people in Ottawa, and I don't have the exact number in front of me.
208,000 people, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, here it goes. Ashley Madison has 189,810 Ottawans on its books, which is roughly 20% of the city's population, and the highest sign-up rate in the city for a city in Canada, probably the world, according to Reuters. Sorry. Reuters.
Roto-Rooter, whatever.
Exactly.
It's a plumber. It's a news
I'm
site.
sorry,
Who knows?
37 million users online. So did we say 37? We said 27.
37 million users online. That's a lot of people out there looking for a little booty.
Yep. Ashley
And so-
Madison. We've heard the commercials
So,
before.
but we hear them all the time, and I guess apparently fairly soon we should start finding out
I
who
guess
some of the people are who have been out there.
I'm clean. I know that.
So am I.
I'm
I'm
clean.
good to go. I don't
I'm
have to
good
worry
go.
about it.
You're not going to find my name on Ashley Madison. But we might find some people we know.
Let's face it. With that many people signed up, we're destined
know
to
somebody.
find somebody on there.
Wow.
Yeah, we're destined to go. Oh wow! And then we might see people go. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I would have
not
figured
surprised
that.
with that one. That's
That
not
one, yeah, definitely. That one definitely. No surprise there. I've seen him at strip clubs before, making it rain.
Making it rain,
making
baby.
it rain.
I'm in the champagne room.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
It's not just Vegas. It's anywhere.
Ashley Madison. I guess apparently what
Ashley
happens
Madison
on Ashley Madison doesn't
Just
stay on
doesn't stay
Ashley
on
Madison.
Madison.
Oh my God.
Winds up on Facebook and Instagram.
You know what, Pat? I'm more of a fan of the Dolly Madison. Sign me up for Dolly. I want the Dolly Madison.
Yeah.
The zingers.
And
What were they?
that way
Dolly
you don't care.
Madison.
If you get outed as being on
I'm on
DollyMadison.com,
DollyMadison.
you're like, hey, yeah, they have the delicious pastries there,
the peanuts.
filled with lots of chemicals and crap, but they taste delicious. They're
Remember the Peanuts? Remember we used to watch the Peanuts on CBS when we were kids before, like you had video and you had to watch it on CBS. And wasn't the Peanuts always brought to you by Dolly Madison?
Dolly
cakes?
Madison, that's right.
You know, so
Shoving crap down our kids' throats for decades.
So if you find my name on a list, it's not
gonna be
for
Dolly Madison, not Ashley Madison.
Not Ashley. Oh my gosh! So there is a guy in Indiana, Pennsylvania. Oh God, I can't say Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. Is
it Pennsylvania?
I'm so excited over the Dolly Madison.
We've all had our words tonight for some reason that we've just completely screwed up. I don't know why.
I must be left over from the Seattle trip. It must have been the air
the air
that I haven't inhaled.
The air that you were breathing. Yeah.
That I was inhaling. It was quite the thing.
Apparently there's that marijuana is legal for like in Colorado for
and in Seattle.
in Seattle and yeah, the air you breathe.
Thumbs up.
The air you breathe might create something there.
I'm still feeling the effects.
Woo!
I don't know. It was just the air, the aroma, the people I might have been hanging out with might have just whatever. So I guess in Indiana, Pennsylvania, there is a man who has a habit for making unnecessary emergency phone calls.
That son of a
He
bitch.
complained of chest pain, so he can ask medics. Are you ready for this? You're sitting down?
Yes, I am
So
sitting
he
down.
can ask medics to help him fix his air conditioner.
Nice.
Yeah, and the dude is 26 years old.
Oh, this kid's just going to be
26
and
years
this thing
old.
is, you generally become a bigger asshole the older you get. If you start off as an asshole, you become a bigger asshole as you get older. Imagine what this guy's like at 70 or 65.
26.
At 26, he's
And he
pulling this.
couldn't put in his own air conditioner, so he calls 911 to come and help him. And then he gets obviously they throw him in the pokey.
So he
He's
could see
made
how
numerous calls
they could
before.
install the air conditioning in his jail cell.
This man was too cheap to call a repairman.
What a dummy.
Too cheap to call a repairman.
What
so let's,
a dummy.
Now, if the cops look like kind of hot, then...
Yeah, in his situation...
My sister Michelle is notorious for calling the police for just about everything. She's not been arrested yet, but she claims that she sees things, like, a person in the neighborhood.
Lions going through the neighborhood. She was in Wisconsin recently, wasn't she? Maybe she started it.
Maybe she started it.
Maybe
but
she's
she
the one.
Is notorious for calling the cops every time my mother goes MIA. Well, my mother goes rogue, and my mother doesn't go rogue.
She goes to the store, hangs out with her friends.
Exactly. And if Michelle,
goes
my
to the
sister,
strip club, things like that.
Chippendales. She
yeah.
is my mother. But my sister calls the cops for everything. Now they know her. They know her.
They answer by saying, "Hi, Michelle."
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. We'll go check on your mom for you.
Go check on your mom. They know her. She's never been arrested yet, but
Not
she's
yet.
waking up neighbors.
Because she's calling from a different state, but they could still get her from her county. They could just say whatever, in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Go pick her up.
Aberdeen.
Aberdeen.
And then, poor Bobby Christina. It's...
Oh, this poor girl.
This poor girl. Just put her out of her misery.
At this point, they're just kind of letting her die. But she's holding on. She's young and she's holding on. There's nothing left, but she's holding on, and it's just so sad that the poor girl. I mean, she's just been through hell. Had two goofy parents that raised her,
and then a guy who she supposedly married beat the crap out of her and write checks out of her bank account to get money, punched her in the face, knocked out her teeth, and all kinds of stuff.
Wanted to marry somebody just like her dad.
Yep. So just recently, before we went on the air, there was a hearse that arrived at the hospice.
Yeah, but hearse arrive at hospice all the time.
That's true. That's
true. That's a daily occurrence, multiple times a day. Because
I agree.
Hospice is where you go. Very few people leave in a private vehicle.
No one ever leaves hospice.
Not never, but very rarely do you leave hospice.
Okay.
It's usually kind of the last place you go.
And then I guess apparently a YouTube video leaked out of Bobby Christina's funeral dated, are you ready for this? Dated July 30th. I don't know about you, but when I looked at my watch, I thought today was what, the 24th? What's today, the 25th? I don't even know. We don't even know. 23rd. Today's the 23rd, and I guess apparently somebody created... It's right there. It's right here, too. Somebody created a YouTube video of Bobby Christina's funeral, and it's dated 7/30/2015. So, go figure.
Dun, dun, dun.
Sad.
A little foreshadowing there.
Yep, and something interesting. I remember taking a class, and I don't know if you did this in school, but you ever remember that you had to, for creative writing, you had to write your own obituary or write an obituary?
I think we had to do that.
I think we all did that at some point in our creative writing.
We had to say how wonderful we were and how much people loved us.
Or what kind of a rat bastard you could have been.
We're glad that son of a bitch is dead.
F you, But no, I guess apparently this woman died Saturday. She was 94 years old. Her name was Mary. Her middle name was Pat. Mary Pat Stocks. She passed away in Toronto, actually on July 1st. So I take it back. She didn't pass away this Saturday. But I guess her son wrote her obituary, which was quite unusual. This is some of the highlights from the obituary. So it said... Pat Stocks, 94, passed away peacefully at her home in bed July 1st, 2015. Sounds pretty normal. It is believed it was caused from carrying her oxygen tank up the long flight of stairs to her bedroom that made her heart give out. She left, now this is where it gets weird. She left behind a hell of a lot of stuff to her daughter and her sons who have no idea what to do with it. This is in the obituary, Pat. This is in the newspaper.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the actual obituary you're reading.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you're looking for two extremely large TVs from the 90s, a large ceramic stork, we think, umbrella cane stand, so a large ceramic stork umbrella cane stand, a toaster oven slightly used, or even a 2001 Oldsmobile with a spoiler. In parentheses, she loved putting the pedal to the metal with 71,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
And 1,000 tools that we aren't sure what they're used for. You should wait the appropriate amount of time and get in touch. Tomorrow would be fine.
Wow. So basically the obituary was a classified ad for the estate sale.
Yes, and it gets better. She liked four-letter words as much as she loved her rock garden and trust us, she loved to weed that garden and help, with us as her helpers.
Is she from Seattle?
I guess so. She was a master cook. She was a master cook in the kitchen. She believed in overcooking everything until it chewed like rubber. So you would never get sick because of all the germs that would be nuked. Freezing germs also worked. So by Friday, our school lunches were hard and chewy, but totally germ-free. All four of us learned how to use a napkin. We would pretend to cough, spit the food. We would pretend to cough, spit the food into it, and thus was born the Stocks diet. Remember, her last name is Stocks.
That's right.
So if anyone...
You think they got that from that Seinfeld episode?
Oh, my God. If anyone
She
like
doesn't
to
watch
copy,
Seinfeld as
no, I
much.
don't
She
watch
doesn't
as
know.
much.
That's a Seinfeld reference.
If anyone would like to copy her homemade gravy, we would suggest you don't. This is all it. There's more. It just gets, and then it says, she loved her beloved pets. The dogs' names, and you thought I was weird because I wanted to name the dogs Tic Tac Toe. Okay,
Yeah.
I said if we get dogs, our next dogs are going to be named Tic Tac Toe. I swear, we're going to name our dogs Tic Tac Toe. But no, the beloved pets were called Tag, 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 and Tag. She had 4 dogs, and she named all 4 dogs Tag.
You only have to remember one name.
Tag.
You get that age, you don't want to have to remember a lot of stuff.
And then in closing, a private family celebration of life will be held in lieu of a service due to her friends not being able to attend because they decided to beat her to the pearly gates. Notice, I swear this is real. Please note her change of address to her new place of residence. St. John's York Mills Anglican Church, 19 Don Ridge Drive, 12 doors away from Shelley's place. That's all.
Wow.
Is that the wildest
Wow.
obituary?
And this is like multiple paragraphs. They took out like a whole full page
here,
ad.
Yeah, I didn't read all
They
of
took
it.
a
I just
full
highlighted.
page. They took a full page ad out for this.
I just highlighted
And
sections
they made
that I thought
and
was
here's the
pretty
thing:
funny.
is there's like 6 paragraphs in this obituary, and all of the for sale stuff was in the second paragraph.
Yeah, so it was a classified.
So it was a classified ad, and then it was a classified ad / roast of they roasted Granny and tried to give away her stuff in her obituary.
And I love the closing line about her
Wow.
friends. Her friends. She has no friends because they all beat her to the pearly gates.
And Bessie basically suggested that she was a pothead. That's awesome.
She was a pothead. She liked her weed.
She liked to weed.
She liked to
the
weed,
garden.
and weed was in big capital letters.
And the
Weed.
cops are going to be showing up to the house going, uh-huh.
Maybe that's why she lived till 94.
Exactly, because she smoked weed. She was
Pat,
nice and relaxed.
Pat, what's in that ceramic? Maybe they shouldn't. Maybe somebody should buy that ceramic stork thing and crack it open because you might find some goodies in there. There might be some weed. Oh my God! Talk about a sale. It doesn't get any better.
You might find
than
out
this.
that those giant TVs from the 90s aren't functioning other than as storage for her weed.
For her weed.
You plug it in and going,
We're not saying she
nothing's
smoked
happening.
weed. We don't know this woman, but we're just saying.
We're just saying.
We're just putting it out
Good
there.
for her.
Maybe.
Hey, look, you're 94 years old. You
She
want to
lived-
light them up? Light it up.
Light it up.
Light it up, honey.
Light it up, up, light it up. Oh, Pat, that's all I got today.
What else do you need?
Ending it with that is
With poor old Granny's yard sale and roast obituary.
Yes, absolutely. If you come,
Wow.
too bad Jay Leno is off the air because that would have been a great.
Now, that was way too long for Jay Leno, but he probably could have done a whole bit on that.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
he could
right
have.
up his alley. That is right up his alley.
So we want to thank everybody for listening to this exciting edition, our weed-filled edition of
Shark-filled edition.
Shark-filled. Thank you for hanging in there, Sharknado fans.
Yeah, I know, like 26 minutes or 30 minutes of Sharknado stuff.
I know.
That's amazing.
Well, it was good, and
That's going to get us our part on Sharknado 4.
I think so. I think we're
think they
looking
should.
good, especially if they do a Las Vegas edition.
Yeah, then they have to have us
We're
on there.
so there. Like we'll play whatever. I'll play a casino dealer. I'll even play a hooker for crying out loud. I don't care. Put me on. I think they should just leave us as Pat and Jody because then
Yeah.
people would love to see us getting eaten by a shark. So we're in the studio. We're doing our show.
Oh, the shark would love to eat me, boy. That would be some hell of a meal. The thing is, the shark would eat me. He'd be good for like a month. You're like, oh, I'm full. Can't eat another bite.
I want to eat the shark.
That should be the next Sharknado 4, where people start eating the shark.
I hear shark is very
Bite them
good.
back. Well, yeah, that's a whole.
I had a king crab. I had king crab, the crab
King
pot,
crab.
by the way. Crab pot. If
The
you're in
crab pot.
Seattle, you got to go. Or Long Beach. They have we're going to have to check out the crab pot.
The
in
crab
Long-
pot in Long Beach. So
Yes.
we got to get some. We got to go get ourselves some king crab.
Yep.
In honor of your trip to Seattle.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm not going to eat any shark.
But we got to sign off with Facebook, Twitter.
Facebook, Twitter.
Facebook, Twitter, Facebook,
Is
staying
that
up.
it?
Facebook, staying up with Pat and Jody.
Everything is staying up with Pat and Jody.
Everything.
Just look it up, you'll find it.
Yes,
Facebook,
Google our name,
Twitter,
everything.
YouTube.
We're out there.
Staying
We're
up with Pat
so
and Jody,
out there.
you'll find it. You'll find it. Okay, that's the easiest way. Go on Twitter, type in "Staying Up with Pat and Jody." Our stuff will come up.
Okay.
Same thing with Facebook, all that. Just
There we
do
go.
it. Do
Do
it.
it.
Follow, subscribe, comment, love, like. Be a part of the
Tell
family.
your friends.
Tell your friends. Spread the word.
Tell your neighbors. Tell them that we smoke weed and we're not on Ashley Madison. Whatever.
And we don't even smoke weed.
No, we don't smoke weed.
But you can tell them that because who cares?
And we're not on Ashley Madison. So
and we're not on Ashley. So we're not going to be on the news anywhere.
Exactly. Bye, everybody. Have a great, fantastic night.
Thanks for watching and listening.
Bye.